Well, hi again, and welcome to our BBC at the Abbey on a nice, cold, snowy day. This morning I woke up and felt terrible, and mostly in the body. The mind was kind of sort of hanging in there with a little bit of Dharma. And as quickly as I could, as Venerable has taught us, I turned my mind to at least the words of refuge, tried to feel them, turned to the Blue Medicine Buddha, because I'm struggling this winter with quite a bit of arthritis, which is just kind of pain throughout the body. One thought that was very helpful, and I share it for anybody who's got any kind of physical thing going on, was as soon as I used Venerable's, well, of course, taking refuge and doing some Blue Medicine Buddha mantra really helped. And then as soon as I could use the word labeling what was going on as sensation, because I was labeling it pain, and then I said sensation, and it was very interesting. I could kind of sink into it a little more rather than trying to, it's pain, and try to hold it away, and just say sensation. And it was very interesting what happened. I became sort of curious about it. And it's not like the pain went away, but it certainly went down. And I think what goes down is some sort of anxiety about pain and fear about pain, like how bad is this going to get? And instead it went down, and I just started exploring, like, what's the sensation in my joints, my shoulder joints, the sensation. And then I could slowly start moving. And usually with the kind of arthritis I have, if I can get moving pretty well, it'll go down quite a bit. So anyway, this all brought me back to another book on thought transformation slogans by Lama Zopa Rinpoche. And this book, called Transforming Problems into Happiness, is a magnificent book. And it's based on some talks he gave on the Lojong slogans. And this was one of the very early books I picked up at Cloud Mountain when I first met Venerable and was going up there to her teachings. And this thing he says right here just made me laugh out loud. It was like such a mind flip. And it's in a chapter called Developing a Different Attitude Toward Problems. So here's what Lama Zopa says. It still makes me laugh. It's like the talkings of a crazy person, but so crazy that he's completely sane and showing how our world is crazy, our usual thinking. He says, the thought of liking problems should arise naturally, like the thought of liking ice cream, or the thought of liking music. Wow. Okay, so when I read that, I thought, what could this guy be talking about? Because I didn't know Lama Zopa at the time. So, I'll read a few sentences and then just give some examples from my own experience. The practice of thought transformation is not intended to stop problems. So just think about that. I know, it's like what Venerable calls Dharma light, Dharma light, L-I-T-E. We want to do Dharma so the problems won't come anymore, so we can just be kind of blissful and happy. And all of these teachers who are, including Venerable, who are doing thought transformation are saying, that is Dharma light. You're going to have to go way deeper. So here's Lama telling it like it is. The practice of thought transformation is not intended to stop problems, but to enable you to use the problems you experience to develop your mind in the graduated path to enlightenment. It's not that you will not receive harm from enemies and diseases now or in the future. You will simply not be disturbed by them. So if we think of these examples of His Holiness with the situation in Tibet and China, he could just be a basket case. He could be, trying to form armies, and he could be taking revenge right and left and thus disturbing his own mind, the world, the minds of those around him. That's not what he does. He simply rests in this. One time I heard an interview of him by someone, and they said, do you ever get angry? And he said, well, it's kind of like a big ocean. It's very still underneath. Sometimes there's a few waves on top. Oh my goodness, to have such a mind. But this is what Lama Zopa is talking about, of course. So, you know, I can think about this morning and go, okay, I've got this disease called arthritis. It certainly is a dis-ease. And what am I going to do about it? It's karma. It's here. I mean, it's not going to go away. I've tried medications, and now I'm dealing with difficulties from medications. So I like this path that Lama Zopa is pointing out, that on one level seems crazy to me, and on this other level seems eminently sane. I need to take this situation straight onto the path as best as I can, and I'm not very good about this. I'm totally a beginner, but just even having that thought, could I have this situation and not have it disturb my mind? Just ask yourself that question over and over. Can I be in this situation and not have it disturb my mind? And who's going to make that decision? Who's going to take care of that mind? There's nobody else who can do it. The doctor can't do it. The medicine can't do it. My teacher can't do it. They can point the way, and then I got to go there. So I just want to read this other little piece. How do problems support your Dharma practice? You have to train your mind in two thoughts. First, you must stop the thought of complete aversion to suffering. We just have to stop that thought. And again, these lojong are they're just like, stop that. Don't do that. And it just feels like, whoa. But that's what they're doing to our self-centeredness. Like, wake up, you know. Get some guts about this. Stop the thought of aversion to suffering. Our own and others, really, because if we can't look deeply at it, we're not even doing the first noble truth. So we have to get past the aversion to suffering enough to actually look, what's the situation we're in? And second, generate the thought of being happy to experience problems. Okay, I'm going to try that. One time when I was diagnosed with breast cancer and was going through it, and I was kind of sick, but I came to the Abbey because Geshe Jampa Tekchok was teaching, and I was feeling somewhat better, but not great, and a little bit sunk in some poor me and how this happened and such, but trying to take it on the path. And he was doing the teachings, and he said, after you've practiced for a little while, a lot of times very difficult things arise. And all of a sudden I was like glued, because it was like I was thinking this was really kind of bad. I've got cancer, I've been practicing, it must not be working, I must be doing it wrong. And he said, this is a really good sign. It's a sign that the practice is working. And I remember really clearly in that moment, hope I can say this without crying, but looking over at Venerable Chidren, who was sitting on the side, and she looked straight at me. And it was really sweet, because she got that I got it in that moment. That, this is purification of past karmas. It's an opportunity. I can take it on the path. And it's a sign that something's happening. And I also was working with a therapist once who was Buddhist Jewish and had studied both. And she said, wow, I have really noticed working with people who do the Tibetan Mahayana Vajrayana path that things seem to ripen really quickly for you all if you get serious. So that was very interesting that she just noticed that. She said, it seems like boom, 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 stuff just comes up. So we can be very happy about it. And I'm going to try to get a mind that says, oh, this is just like a wonderful piece of music. I'm so far from that, it's why I'm laughing. I don't particularly like ice cream, but this is like listening to a wonderful piece of music. Wouldn't that be great to even try to have a wisp of that mind? And our teachers have it, so let's follow them. Thank you.